Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Red Divide. Joining me in the studio today, ever-present Mark, our special guest Steve, second time you're on the show. Welcome back. Great to have you. How you boys doing?
Good. Well, thanks a lot. Appreciate we come back. Yeah, such a feeling. Enjoy the show as always, gents. Thanks for having me back.
No
Listen
problem.
here, you stole my intro again. Yeah, this guy.
This is the
Unbelievable.
Liverpool show. It's not the Man United show today, Marcus. You're outnumbered.
Unbelievable. I would have at least given a much better intro and introduced our good friend Steve. Welcome back, brother. I know we had a good chat the last time. We really got into it, and you told us some of your favorite memories. And welcome back. And unfortunately, I am outnumbered.
Yeah.
And that ridiculous cousin of mine, he stole my thunder. But hey, let's go. Let's get right into it.
Yeah. Mark, are you ready for tomorrow, eh?
Am I ready for tomorrow? To be honest,
He's ready to get
my
hammered.
expectations are not that high. I'm not too positive about tomorrow's result, if I'm honest. So sure, why not? I'm ready.
That's it. Stay positive.
It's bad when I'm looking forward to the NFL more than I am to the Premier League. And you must know things are not going well for United.
You got to support through the good and the bad, Marcus.
Oh, without a doubt, I'm still making a podcast about these clowns. You know what I mean? So I'm here, but unbelievable. They've been so terrible on the pitch, but we're still here. We still watch them. We still get absolutely irritated, but we're here. You guys know what we love. That. You guys went through years of that, so it's no different.
Yeah, we suffered for many years. There's no doubt.
We had pretty much the season that you guys are having now. We had that last season. You just got to fight to do it.
You found some form and you went on a long winning streak, so we can do that great. But yeah, I don't see us doing this winning streak or going on this winning streak because I don't know. We don't have a playing style. We have a lot of injuries, which I'm sure we'll get into, and there's takeovers in the background. It's just hovering over the club. No one knows what the plan is moving forward. Yeah, it's not entertaining. It's not. Yeah, it's going to be rough. But we're here to buckle up and enjoy the ride.
I think this is the first time I actually agree with anything you say about Liverpool and Man United. You've nailed it.
I haven't said much about Liverpool. I tried to make sure I didn't mention you'd win, just that we would lose.
No, but you mentioned we went on a long winning spree. Hence, you don't think you're going to do it, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything's possible, but I don't know where that comes from. I cannot see it. So, yeah, it's like we have. Let's get into it. I have 13 possible players that won't play. I think Shaw and Rashford are back, so maybe just 11. And it's more like 10 because Jaden's on disciplinary. He's not going to feature. But yeah,
Bruno's
those players,
suspended.
Bruno's part of that 10, and the majority of those guys are all first-team players. So it's a serious uphill battle. Even if we had our entire, full-strength team, it would be a battle. And yeah, never mind now. There's a very small chance that we have to get anything from this game. Unfortunately, that's been real.
So with that being said, what do you think the scoreline would be? With that being said, you've got a weakened squad. You've got a lot of injuries. You've got suspensions, disciplinaries. What is the most likely outcome?
Of Anfield.
You're coming to Anfield. The last time you were there, you got 7. And that was your first team.
5, 7.
Easy.
So now, last time you came to Anfield, you got 7. So what do you reckon?
Go down memory lane. Let's not go down memory lane.
No, let's go. Great memories.
To be honest, I think we'll lose 3-0.
Is that all? Only 3?
Shut up. 3's far too many. 3's far too many.
Steve, he's not being honest with us. What do you reckon?
Right, to be honest, I'm going to say either a 4-0 or a 5-1. And I'm going to give them one because somebody's just going to give them a penalty. And we seem to concede a goal sometimes. So I'll give it 5-1 or 4-0.
What's yours?
Well, that's a decent that's a decent scoreline. I tend to agree. I tend to agree with you. I think a 4 or a 5. However, the problem I have is I know Man United's got obviously a weakened squad for this game week, and if I go by how they played against Bayern, they're really well set up in terms of their formation, and I think Ten Hag is probably going to try and do the same thing, try and shut up shop, and try and hit us on the counter. So I think it's going to be extremely difficult to break them down, if they come with their A game. But yeah, probably 4-5-0. I have to agree with you.
Oh, extremely difficult, and you throw out 4 or 5-0. How's this go?
Well, if I said it would be easy, you'd be getting 10, right?
Yeah, I know in your wildest dreams. Listen, so it's going to be tough. It's going to be rough. It's not going to be one to remember. I don't believe. You never know. It is football. That ball's round. Anything can happen, but I don't see it. However, last season, we struggled for the first 2 results. We played Liverpool, and that turned our season around. We smacked you boys, and we carried on,
No, you didn't smack us. You beat us 2-1. That's not a smack.
It's a smack. So,
if 2-1's a smack, what is 7-0, Makas?
Didn't happen. I don't know what you're talking about. So, speaking of memories, Steve, what's your favourite United Liverpool game?
Yo, Mark, I must be honest. It probably goes where we played at Old Trafford. It's the one where Steven Gerrard kisses the badge in the camera.
Yes.
I know which one you're talking about.
That was where Torres and Vidic used to have that sort of
battle
rivalry. Yeah. That was, for me, the best game. And I must be honest, out of all of it, not even the badge kissing stands out for me. It was the Aurelio free kick where Van der Sar actually just stood still. Couldn't even move. That, for me, was the best game.
I do remember. I love how I always remember you always used to call him Van der Sar, and I do like that. He was such a star for us. It was amazing.
He was actually brilliant. He was a brilliant keeper.
Oh, he was to me, because I mean we mid to late late 30s. And so Schmeichel saw the end sort of his career. So didn't unfortunately get to appreciate him as much, but Van der Sar, unbelievable. Just that team with Van der Sar in it brings back the best of best memories. So yeah, he was amazing. Ray, what's your favorite United Liverpool game?
I have so many to choose from. There's been epic battles since I've supported Liverpool, but I have to say the most recent game, the 7-0, just because of how we thrashed you. Nothing has ever made me more happier than beating Man United 7-0. So I'm going to go with the last game that we played at Anfield. That's my best game. I'm hoping to relive the memory tomorrow. However, we'll see how that pans out.
I must be honest. I think tomorrow, if, like you were saying, if they come in with that holding and hitting us on the counter, if we crack a early one, I honestly think United's heads are going to drop quickly. We get 2 quick goals in the first half, you're going to see a thriller again, in my opinion. But if we don't, and it holds out to half-time, and it becomes one of those sort of boring 0-0 games because you guys are sitting there holding the bus, then we'll still get the win, but it's going to be a late winner. We'll see what McTominay has to do in the middle, if he can sort of hold that middle or not.
Well, it's not going to be a thriller if it's one-sided. It might be a thriller for you boys.
It's going to be a thriller for us. That's what I'm talking about. I'm worried about I'm more worried about you.
And then, unfortunately, McTominay is not the most disciplined at staying in position. He gets forward, great, and gets into really good positions. But, it's going to be a little tricky tomorrow. My favourite game is probably the game I went to at Old Trafford 2010. I saw Torres score right in front of the Stretford end with a header. Bang. And that entire stadium went crazy. The amount of swearing and words that were thrown at that boy, like I thought, wow, this guy better pray for his life. You better hope that he gets out of the stadium. But that's just the environment when you have the biggest game on the cards. And then we got a penalty, and Rooney hit it, but keeper saved. But then Rooney hit the rebound in.
Yeah.
So it was 1-1. And then somewhere around the late 70s, early 80s, I don't quite remember, somewhere there, Park Ji-sung, diving header.
I remember that.
Man, that stadium erupted. Like that was unbelievable. To be there, to play our biggest rivals, to win was unbelievable. The goosebumps, the memories, I'll never forget that.
It's good. You must keep those good memories because the past few years have just been miseries for you. You know what I'm saying, guys?
It's been rough. The last 10, now getting 11 years, man, it's been rough. Jeez.
That game that you went to go watch, we wore the grey kit, eh? It was the grey Adidas kit.
I think you were wearing white.
White could have been the white Adidas kit.
I'm pretty sure you were in white.
2009 was the grey one.
Yeah.
That's the one that's the game I enjoyed.
Yeah. So that was something that I'll always hold on to, and to see that passion and to see how much United wanted that win. I don't see that these days, and that's why we need a whole new, whole new injection of spirit and attitude and loyalty and love for your club, because there's just not enough passion.
Do you think that will come from maybe when the Glazers leave?
If they leave.
If they ever leave. But I think it could help. I think you'll get when there's a new manager, you get that new manager bounce. And the same thing will happen with the owners. We'll get that new owner bounce. But if Sir Jim's doing it little by little, I don't know if you're going to see much of a bounce, but maybe the day that they're officially out and he gets the full percentage, depending how things are going and depending how the fans are enjoying the new ownership, the stages of the ownership, then we could see that, but it's going to take time. It is what it is. We're nowhere near what we were. How the mighty have fallen, but we're here. Anything can happen. So I'm going to have that little bit of positivity that we can still somehow pull it out tomorrow.
What's your guys' drought now? 11 years without a Premier League title.
Fast approaching the 30 that you guys went through.
It's going to come quick. 11,
it goes by
15,
very fast.
15, 20, 30.
Yeah, before you know it.
30.
So we'll just have to see. Yeah, so that's that. I mean, my favorite United team is the 08 team. You think about that strike force of Tevez, Rooney, and Ronaldo. Unbelievable.
Dangerous.
You know what I mean? Unbelievable. So we have a long way to go to achieve such a strike force again and score those amount of goals. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Tomorrow's going to be difficult for you guys. Like,
huge.
Can you even predict your lineup with the amount of injuries you have?
I was just about to say, if you guys want to take your hat off for a second, your Liverpool hat, and try and think, how can United beat Liverpool? And that's difficult because you're a Liverpool fan, but where do you think United can hurt you?
I must be honest, the way I've been watching, it happened in the Fulham game, and it actually happened in the European game where they sort of held Endo in the middle because McAllister's injured and he's sort of been our go-to number 6. Sorry about that. And he's been our number 6. And if they can hold Endo like they were doing and they were pressing him and crunching him, they could run through the middle. And they were doing that. I'm just hoping Endo catches a wake-up. I think if he can distribute the ball quicker. My problem is he holds on the ball too long, and the guys are crunching him and taking him out. If he can distribute that ball quicker, it'll be fine. But if he does that same rubbish again, I do think if you press down the middle, you'll probably get there, because even Kanate, he hasn't been sort of playing that well, in my opinion. And I do believe he will start tomorrow. So if you can go straight down the middle, you probably get a goal through the middle. That's my opinion. I don't see you guys doing it on the wings. If Rashford does play, he might only come second half, because I don't know how far he is in with his illness. So if he does catch a full game, he'll probably go off. But I don't think he'll do much on the wing there, even with Trent that side. I think Trent will have his number, must be honest. And Trent will probably move into the pivot role. And that's, so going down the middle, I think that's where you probably hurt us, to be honest.
Yeah.
And
Which
playing
is,
a hard defense, like a line of defense, and blocking us from getting through the middle. Then we'll have to push out to the wings. And Salah hasn't really been coming in or crossing it, really. So, and Diaz is also, so I don't know. It will be a difficult one. But come through the middle, I think that's where you might hurt us.
it's the shortest way to a goal is through the middle. What do you think, Cuz?
I reckon if United have to score first, that will give you the opportunity to sit back and make Liverpool chase the game, close all the spaces, and make it really, really difficult for us. So for me, I would prefer that we don't go down. We have this new trend this season where we go down and we have to come back to win games. I think if you guys had to score before us, and we'd have an extremely difficult day. It doesn't matter who your first team is. I know obviously you don't have your entire first team to start this game, but if you put the players into position, you tell them, this is where you move from here to here. Where he goes, you go there. You know what I mean? If they implement like a man marking system instead of marking the spaces, I think that will also go a long way. But other than that, I must be honest, that could be the only way they could hit. You could hurt us. And like what Steve mentioned earlier about going through Endo, he needs to distribute the ball quicker. But other than that, to be honest with you, my cuz, even with my Liverpool hat on, I think in terms of the first team selections of who's available, I don't think you have much chance, to be honest with you. What do you reckon?
Well, I have to agree with you. As mentioned earlier, we have all those injured players and Bruno on suspension. I think Bruno was he's the
He makes
heart
everything
and
tick.
spirit of United, and the fact that he's suspended is a huge blow for us. I don't know. The only way I can see us maybe holding you guys at bay for a while and maybe hitting you on the counter or getting a late goal and sneaking it is you play a double pivot of Kobe Mainu and Amrabat, and then Scott in the 10. That way you can get forward and you don't have to worry about him defending too much, but you have Mainu and Amrabat in the double pivot, protecting that back four, because the back four, Varane's going to play, and hopefully he finds some form. I guess it'll be Varane and Lindelof, and as long as we have a double pivot in front of them, I think we can build a solid foundation and just be tight, just be solid, and hope that between McTominay, Højlund, Rashford, and Garnacho, one of those three, maybe Anthony, which I don't think it's the right game for him, and you need someone with some passion like Pellistri on the right. So between those four, depending who starts and who comes on as a sub, I think that's our route to a goal.
I'm hoping Højlund doesn't score his first Premier League goal at Anfield.
I
really hope that's not going to be the case.
If he wants to be an instant legend, bang.
Oh man, I thought of that. I wanted to say that. Please don't break your virginity with Liverpool.
He's done well in Champions League, but not so well in the Premier League, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I think the only way he's going to get it is a counter-attack with us. I must be honest. I can't see you guys pressing enough to get him into the positions he needs to get. But I wanted to ask you, we're talking about the double pivot. Sorry, excuse me. What happens if we do the same thing? We play a double pivot, which we normally do. If you guys go double pivot, we go double pivot. That's just going to sort of stalemate that.
Yeah, cancel it out.
So what we do, but we don't have a permanent double pivot. We obviously start with the four at the back. We have the one holding player, but then Trent,
Mm.
we obviously got this new style where Trent drifts into the middle. But
Yeah.
he hasn't really been a double pivot. He's almost like more of a forward attacking player, instead of
Mm.
holding. He's not holding. Um, I think in terms of the formation that we're going to play, we're probably going to play the three at the back. So that's going to give us an extra body in midfield, and we're going to need that if Man United shut up shop, so to speak.
Mm.
It's going to be really tough. You know what? It's Liverpool, Man United. Doesn't matter which players are there, which players are available. It's the biggest game of the calendar. Everyone looks forward to this game. So I'm hoping that I'd love Liverpool to win 10-0, but at the end of the day, I want it to be a competitive game. I want the teams to go out and fight for the win. You know what I mean? That's the way I see it happening. I think it will take a lot for Man United to, obviously get a result. But what Mark was saying earlier, football is football. Anything can happen. Now we're talking shit about, Man United. The next podcast, Mark's going to be smiling. You know what I mean? So you never know what's going to happen. And yeah, I can't wait for the game though. I'm super excited. Like I'm almost counting minutes down now.
100%. I've been eager to watch this game for a week now. Like the European game came this week, and it wasn't even worth watching. I was like, can this game just end? I want to get Sunday going already.
It's a dead rubber.
Yeah, complete
Yeah, it
dead
was
rubber.
a dead rubber. But you saw the dead rubber showed who our formation is going to be against you guys.
Possibly.
The
But all
players
just
that we
new.
left behind.
Yeah. Just totally different players. Yeah.
Yeah, we left the spot.
Yeah.
It was Allison, Van Dijk, Trent. Who was the other one? Steve?
Slobosly.
Yeah.
Salah.
Salah,
Salah.
yeah.
Those are the ones that remained behind. So that gives you an insight. They automatically, their names are on the card. But I do worry about the number 6 position. Endo, he's not the greatest player. He serves a purpose. He wins the ball back. He puts in a tackle. He can shoot. He can header. But I think he's not used to the pace of the Premier League. And that probably could be our weak point where, Man United have an opportunity to try and take advantage of that.
What do you guys think about Trent's new role?
I think it's great because it gives him more opportunity to use, his array of passes. He's a great passer of the ball. And I think it just creates more chances. What it does is it creates more bodies in midfield. We have, in terms of tactics, we have more sideways passing, forward passing. And if you look at the goals that we scored this season, I'd probably say 35% of them have come from Trent, from either a ball whipped across or a ball over the top or a through ball. I think it's working really well. And probably in the near future, I think he could be in midfield and we'll probably buy a new right back. What do you reckon?
So,
do you think that he's suited for the role?
Steve, all yours.
No, I was just going to say that I think our turning point last season was when Trent moved into that role.
Exactly.
We were dog shit. I almost said dog shit, but I'm just going to say it. We were dog shit until that hybrid role came along, and that's when everything changed. And to be honest, since that role, I stand under correction, but we've lost 2 games. One was City, and the other one was when we got robbed by Tottenham.
Spurs.
Yeah, and that's it. Since that role change, we've lost 2 games. I might be wrong, but prove me wrong. I don't think you can. So
Yeah,
it honestly works. And if Gomez falls in, if we can just get... Because Gomez is on the up. So if Gomez... I wouldn't mind seeing Gomez actually as a right back. Put Gomez right back and put Trent in the middle, but then we lose that extra man in the middle, like Ray was saying. So that I think will be the future, but I think for now, let's keep Trent right back and use him as the hybrid role midfielder.
You see, the issue was, and it was for a long time, Liverpool have played a 4-3-3 ever since Klopp came in, right? Now teams have learned to adapt and how to put the brakes on, so we couldn't score. We were very inconsistent last season. We were always trying the same thing, the 4-3-3. We had midfielders that were tired, that couldn't press and win the ball back quickly, and that's obviously why we went on a really bad run. But yeah, the role for Trent now coming in the midfield, it's very unpredictable for the fellow opposition to pick up a player that's drifting in between the lines. You know what I mean? And his passing of breaking the line. So if you think about it like this, the shape, right? You've got the pivot. If you can get the ball in between these players, right? If you can get the ball in between those players, that is what Trent is doing for us, and that's where a lot of our goals are coming. If you look at the goals we scored this season, a lot of the passes a lot of the goals have been created through the lines. So, yeah, it's very unpredictable for teams to try and pick up a player that's drifting in between positions. And I think that has probably, like you said, it made a huge difference for us to recover from the terrible season that we had last year. And I think it might be Trent's new position, to be honest with you. I think we need to find a really good right back to replace him, but I can see him being midfield for the foreseeable future.
Especially with Liverpool 2.0, so all the new midfielders coming in now, it's actually improved his game slightly. So Szoboszlai, Tadek's just amazing, and he actually complements Trent's sort of gameplay because he moves into the space. He's got the backup. Yeah, a couple of games now, he sort of let the players go. That's where the Fulham goal came through. So yeah, he's not perfect, but I think his style suits Trent's advantage, or Trent's what's the lack of word?
Strength.
His strength. Yeah.
Can you see him being a midfielder? You think, Cuz, what do you reckon? You can see him being a midfielder in the foreseeable future, or
easy? He's got all the skills to be a midfielder. Look at his crossing, unbelievable. Really, really good. His assists, his passing, his shooting. The guy's an all-round midfielder playing at right back. He's really good. He gets up and down the touchline. I think he's amazing.
I watched a video about his story, right? So he was a ball boy back in 2005 when we won the Champions League, and that's when it all started for him. Is when in 2005 when we won the Champions League, and that he was a little lad, and he got the opportunity from being a ball boy coming through the academy. He's having his idol Steven Gerrard. You can see a lot of similarities on how he passes and crosses, very similar to how Gerrard, the technique. And extremely proud of the youngster, that he could come from the academy and probably be one of the best right backs, midfielders in the country. I think he, in terms of his defense, probably not the strongest defender. He can get beaten easily one-on-one, but definitely in the midfield, I can see that being his position for the foreseeable future.
Because to be honest, defending is not great defending. He's so much better going forward, attacking.
I agree.
So he really is more of a midfielder than a defender, but a good player, decent player, definitely one of your better players.
Couldn't agree more.
So give us a starting lineup there.
Go ahead, Steve.
Okay, well, I'll go obviously between the posts, Alisson, then Trent, Ibu Konate, Virgil van Dijk, Tsimikas, and then in the sixth role we'll do Endo, Szoboszlai, and I'm on the fence, but obviously I'll go with Gravenberch. Then Salah, Nunes, and Diaz up front. And then obviously super subs to come in as Elliott. The man's been a machine as a super sub. That's actually where our strengths are currently, is actually the rotation of players during the game. This 5 subs has actually worked for Klopp, because Klopp, I think, was a bit stubborn, and he would do change every 70 minutes, maybe 1 or 2 players, where now he's using the players. He's using Elliott, he's using Jones, he's using Gomez even to come in, Gakpo. I think that'll be my starting lineup.
So do you think that Nunes is going to start over Gakpo?
I do. I really do. I think he's going to give him... I think he's giving him the opportunity to just iron out your your issues of missing open
uselessness.
goals. Mark, I'm trying to be polite here. Iron out those niggles that
Wasteful chances.
irritating so
The
bad. But
sitters. Yeah.
but the problem is he just creates chaos. He's there. He's always
I agree.
comeback
He,
was basically him. He saved the ball from going out, pushed it. He's just everywhere. Yeah, he gets offside quite a bit, but I think Klopp's got faith in him. I think Klopp does see something, and he's got Klopp's faith.
yeah, I agree. He's a hungry player. You can see when he's on the pitch, he's got so much passion, and a lot of today's in today's age footballers, they don't have the passion. If imagine you had a whole team of Roy Keanes. Do you think they'd ever get beaten? I don't think so. Players need to have that passion, and he's got that. And yes, he's wasteful with the chances, not always. It's almost like he scores the difficult ones and misses the easy ones. He hasn't quite found his feet in terms of how hard to shoot or how soft to shoot in certain situations. But he'll be a hit. You'll see. He'll definitely be a hit. With your starting lineup, I agree with probably 10 of the players. The only one that I'm not sure about is Gravenberg, because his defending isn't great. He's great when he gets the ball and he can slip the player really easily. So I think I'm going to substitute Gravenberg with Jones. I think Jones, he might start over Gravenberg.
If you look at my paper, I actually had it as Jones first starting, and then I changed it up to Gravenberch. So I don't know. I just think because Gravenberch played, I think, a full game on Wednesday, or when was it? Thursday. He played a full game. So that's why I thought that he would be coming in. Jones played a full game. That's why I'm saying that I think he would be the sub.
Okay. No, I hear you. So I think, especially for the Man United game, you'll probably go with a player like Jones, just for the fact that he keeps the ball, he doesn't lose the ball, he wins the second ball back, he passes well, he shoots well, and he's disciplined. So that for that reason, I think Klopp will go with him, to be honest with you. What about you, Marky? Who are you choosing for your starting lineup? You're going to call up some of the reserve squad and the third team squad? How are you going to put the mix masala?
Gave away most of my team earlier. I'd like to see Behinder between the sticks, but pretty sure Onana will start.
Yeah, he will.
And maybe this is the game that he needs to find some confidence, keep a clean sheet, have something to work on. But anyway, it'll be Onana.
Work on his back by picking the ball up from the back of the net.
Out of the net. He'll have a sore back from diving around making saves the whole day.
Let's hope not. Jeez. Some of the saves the simple saves you would think he would make. So yeah, don't pull out too many shots tomorrow. Just take it easy. Try pass it into the net. You know what I mean?
He might fumble the pass and he might save the shot. Who knows?
So yeah, 19 goals. I'm torn on right back between Dallo or Wan-Bissaka. If I was Tenaga, I'd probably go with Wan-Bissaka just to be more solid.
I agree.
Protect the back, so I'd go Wan-Bissaka. I think he might start Dallo, but I'm going to go Wan-Bissaka. Then Lindelof and Varane. And if Shaw's fit, which looks like he is, I'd start Shaw. Otherwise, Reguilon gets forward a lot.
He's done well for you guys.
A great attacking outlet, but I think start Shaw, keep it chilled a bit, and then maybe bring him on in the second half if things are still tight, and let him make some forward runs. Midfield, double pivot, Kobe Mainu, Sofiane Amrabat, and Scotty. McSauce is the number 10. He gets forward so often, so he's not as creative maybe as Bruno, but he's just going to be that extra attacking threat. So put him as the 10. And then left, I would start Garnacho over Rashford. He's recovering from an illness anyway, and Garnacho's been in better form than Rash. Rash has been shocking compared to his form last season. Absolute day and night. So start Garnacho on the left. But again, this could be a game that can turn around our season and some players can get some confidence. But Soccer Nacho on the left, Hoyland up front, and on the right, he's gonna start Anthony. He'll start Anthony, but I'd probably start Pellistri, just for the passion and the running and energy. But yeah, that would be my starting 11.
Okay.
It reminds me of
your old Liverpool teams.
exactly. It reminded me of ex-Liverpool teams just before Klopp came in. Shocking.
Yeah, not great.
Spearing plane.
Yeah.
Chase spearing.
What can we do? You know, we're suffering with injuries and suspensions and whatnot. So here's what it is, man. Just be solid. Be solid at the back and try and nick a win. That's all you can do.
Okay, remember when I said injuries will cost the team, and then we were playing Henderson. We were playing.
Yeah.
Who else was playing back with Henderson at the time? Oh man, it was so bad. We were seeing midfielders playing defenders. We were seeing strikers falling back into midfielders just because the injuries killed. And this time of season, I know everyone says one game at a time, but you got to look at even the 2 days from now, 3 days from then, we're playing again, and 3 days from then you're playing again, and then 3 days from then you're playing again.
Yeah,
exactly. So the big question, gents, why is this game so important for both our clubs?
Sure, Marky, this goes back. It goes back to in South Africa per se. It's always been a Liverpool and Man United rivalry. We can look back at even our uncles and whatever the case may be. There's always been a Liverpool and Man United rivalry from them. And I think it's with culture, it grows up with you. So you choose between the Liverpool, Man United. Yeah, occasionally someone will go drift off to a Chelsea because of Mourinho at the time or something like that. That you don't hear much of the Chelsea fans now that were Mourinho fans then. So the thing is, for me, it was even school days. You going to standard 6, and then there's Man United fans and there's some Liverpool fans, and we all became mates. But when the rivalry was on, you teased each other, and likely we got teased because Liverpool was shit then. But I stuck with the team. You stick with them because you love the team. You love what they were. For me, I love the history of them. For me. Obviously, I came into a Liverpool team not in their prime, so for me, it was about the history. It was about certain players. It was Robbie Fowler. It was Steven Gerrard, and it was the hatred of seeing Berbatov score a bicycle and of just seeing Rooney score against us, seeing Ronaldo score against us. I hated it. And
John O'Shea, Rio Ferdinand.
No, it's not good. There wasn't that many. But
Fletcher.
So I'm just so for me, it goes back to a lot of being with mates and the rivalry. Like obviously, what the show's about. The show's about rivalry, but it's about the love for each other, family love. But comes a rivalry with the team. Mark, you remember when we were in England? We wore the same shirts, but the Oak was like, "Why are you two even talking to each other?" It's because we're mates. But when it comes to on Sunday, we somewhat enemies.
It's true. Then the sort of friendliness goes out the door.
And the teasing and the let's go. It's there.
Yeah, all the passion. It's besides the tragedies that both clubs went through, Hillsborough and the Munich disaster and all of that. It's growing up that one team, Liverpool, were the best in the 80s, and United were the best in the 90s and early 2000s, and it's just the two most successful teams in England, right? So
100.
head to head at each other's throats from us being kids all the way up to grown adults, and man, it's been never ending. As bad as Liverpool teams were in the past, they somehow found a way to beat United pretty often, 50-50 probably. You guys beat us. Yeah. So it wasn't that, we were a much better team and we're going to go and smack you. It didn't work like that. You guys had 1 or 2 stars in your team, boys, and somehow you all band together for that game, and the teamwork was there for everyone to witness, and you guys would put on a hell of a performance and beat us. And I would always shake my head and think to myself, we better than you on paper, we better than you on form, we normally top of the log or thereabouts, and somehow we'd lose to you. And I'd be like, I'd lose to anyone. I don't want to lose to Liverpool. You know what I mean? But we did, and yeah, that rivalry will never go away, I guess. Well, hopefully not. If we continue to be shit, you never know. But you guys were shit forever, and you're still here. So it gives me confidence that we'll always be around.
100%.
Yeah, what about you, Ray?
Well, because you already know my story, but obviously not everyone does. For me, I started watching Liverpool obviously as a youngster, when we still had Jan Mulby and Ian Rush and John Barnes, and that was the team that I idolized, Michael Owen. But I think in terms of believing in something, obviously Liverpool were great in the 80s, and that's when the end of 80s is when my first game of football was 1989, my first game that I watched, and just seeing how the fans were going mad in the stadium, and the passion of the players when they were scoring goals, and I was like, yeah, I want some of this. This is like, I want to be part of this. And things were going great. We were winning stuff, and then the 90s came, and then Ferguson. Let's not talk about Ferguson. His name is in the history books forever. But then from going from being superior to now being mediocre and watching your greatest rivals win all the time, number one, have the most money, number two, at the time have probably the best stadium in Europe, to somehow pull yourself together and, carry on supporting your team, even though you haven't won the league for 30 years. And I think it's just having that belief that there's just more that the club can give you and offer you. And I've never really understood, Marcus, you and I have been best mates, family, we are family. But the only thing we don't agree with is this topic, is Man United and Liverpool. So how did this happen that you became Man United and I became Liverpool? I've taught you most of the things in your life. You clearly didn't take these life choices.
Simple. We were watching the game together, and I don't know if we were together. I just remember you telling me Liverpool was playing. I went to go look. I'm like, who's that other team? No, that's United. I'm like, okay, I'll be United, you be Liverpool, and that was the end of that.
I remember that. That was in your living room.
Yeah.
You had the stairs that went down. Yeah, I remember that clearly.
It was probably before that, my first house. Yeah.
So I think it was just the fact that you didn't want to be the same team as me, and we wanted to be competitive, and that's the reason why you chose Man United.
I just wanted to have that rivalry, I can't. We have to have something, something to talk about, and yeah, since then it's been hell of a ride, on hell of a roller coaster.
Oh yes. Well, that's the thing with football, right? One team is never on top forever, which history has proven. So that's you guys are in a little bit of a slum right now, but things will get better. If you look at what Ten Hag has done last season, obviously the season's not the same, but you do have injuries. And something is lacking. I don't know. From last season, Rashford couldn't stop scoring. Bruno couldn't stop assisting. There's something that's happening within your club, apart from the Glazers and the takeover, that needs to be resolved.
It's the player
Not
power.
Quite sure what it is, but I think it's the player power.
I think they're more powerful than the coaches. So they sulk, or they don't give their full effort, and they get him sacked and want a whole new regime, a new way of. They've done it. Those same players. Some of those players have been there since Van Gaal. You know what I mean? Rashford started under Van Gaal. So they've seen him go. They've seen so did Martial. They've seen him go. They've seen Mourinho go. They've seen Oli go. They've seen Ragnick go. They're like, you guys will come and go, and I'll still be here. So they don't have that. When you have someone like Klopp that's been in probably longer than most of your players, if not all your players, they know that's the top dog. Jeez, if he says something, I'm out. That time when Henderson had a little sulking session as he got subbed off, and Klopp grabbed him and said, "Hey, watch yourself, son." You know what I mean? And afterwards he's like, "Oh shit, yeah, okay, sorry, boss." I'll never forget that. It's the same thing. Fergie wouldn't let any stuff fly that wasn't in line with his beliefs.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing. So unfortunately, most of those players have been there longer than Ten Hag, or all of them have, except the ones he bought in the summer, and they probably all feel the same way. You need to go through that. You need to get rid of the normal players, bring in your own players, and then you start your own new regime, your own new, stage of going forward and setting the tone. So
but saying that, Ten Hag's done extremely well in terms of trying to put a cap on the wages. Number one,
discipline, everything.
He is a disciplinarian. So I think if you look at what has made your club successful, is a strong manager who is a disciplinarian, and that's a good man manager. I'm not sure if Ten Hag is a great man manager just yet, but in terms of disciplinarian and putting in rules and regulations, so that obviously financially things can be more sound for you guys. I don't know. Maybe you can tell me. Is he a man manager? Because I don't know. Maybe that's what's lacking.
I think he is. You look at Martinez and Anthony, some of the players that he brought over from Ajax, those guys will die for him. You know what I mean? You're not going to be not a man manager if there's players that want to die for you. That they shows you that these guys believe in you. They know your tactics. They understand what you're trying to do. They believe in you, and they'll die for him. Even all the fans. When he signed for us, when Ten Hag signed for us, they were like, "You guys are getting an unbelievable coach. He's so good with the players. He's so good with tactics. So good with discipline. You guys will be on a one-way trajectory," and that's up. In the first season that worked, but this season it's been rough. Rashford, not just on the field, but his attitude looks pathetic, man. Like, dude, you don't want to be there. Okay, cool. There's the door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Let's make some money on him then and get someone who does want to play for the club. It doesn't look like he wants to play for United. Anyone with a shit attitude, there's the door. You've got to go. Bringing guys who want to play for the badge, want to be at Manchester United, but there's still too many, I think, there that have been through the older coaches, been through the old regimes. And I'm like, whatever, dude. We'll wait for you to get fired. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you'll get fired before we do.
I saw an interesting article. I don't know if you guys saw that one. I think it was who was it? Matic, who said that training. All of them said that when he was playing for even Chelsea, training time was training time. You get there on time. And then when he moved to United, he saw that guys would come late every so often. People would just stroll in at any time, and just make excuses, not even come to training some days. And then him and a couple of guys started a club within the club. Kitty, to fine the guys. And they cooped up £75,000 worth of fines from United players just for laziness and cuck attitude, coming in late. And I thought, damn, that's crazy. And some of them are there today.
Correct. Like Jadon Sancho. Paul Pogba's no longer there. Rash, I don't know. He was late earlier this season. Or last season. Was it last season?
Ten Hag
benched him first half and then brought him on and he scored the winner, I think, in the second half.
Yeah. Right.
So that's what it's all about, is discipline, and a lot of these players don't have it. They think they're bigger than the club or bigger than the manager, and that doesn't work. You're never going to be successful like that. You all have to be, playing to the manager's tune. And
exactly.
Unfortunately, it's not like that right now at United. But I'd like to give him time. I have faith in him. I like someone that's so disciplined and wants things done in a certain way. Just have to focus. You've seen that he was successful at Ajax. Did really well for us last year. We won our first trophy in 5 years or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So it's possible, he can do it. He just needs the support.
He's got all my support by staying mid-table.
Hey, come on, you're talking about Chelsea now. This is not Chelsea. It's United, man.
Yeah. But Jets aren't even that far off, I must be honest. What are you, 6 points from fourth?
Yeah, something like that. We're not far. You got a little run.
10 points behind us. 10 points behind us.
Results don't go the way of the top teams, and all of a sudden you're in the mix again.
Yeah. But it's an interesting log at the moment.
Yeah, for sure. But we have to kickstart now, like ASAP.
It's probably going to be one of the hardest times to try kickstart, especially with all your injuries, plus all 100%. This game time. The amount of games, this is probably the hardest period there is. Do you think he's going to bring in
festive.
any players come January?
I don't know if he's going to have any cash to spend. That's the problem. Depends when this 25% goes through. If he gets some cash, sure. But if not, and we need to. If not, it'll be tough ask the rest of the season. So tell me, gents, if Liverpool lose, what does that mean for your season? And if you win, what does that mean for your season?
Yeah. Right?
For me, if Liverpool lose, I think obviously it would be a huge confidence. We'd lose a lot of confidence for sure. However, if we win, losing to our rivals is never the best thing, especially when competing for the title. I think it could be a minor setback. I think a psychological setback, especially losing to your major rivals. But if we win, I think that will give the guys all the confidence in the world, and I think we'll be up there fighting for the title.
I agree with you completely. Confidence will be shattered in some way, but I don't think it will completely kill our season for running for title. I think it would just maybe even show the guys like, listen, you really need to pull up your socks maybe. When losing at home, which we don't really actually do, but if we do lose at home, it's like, okay, now boys, wake up. If you want to win this thing, these are the games that you need to be winning. These are especially your home ones. You can't drop points.
Big games.
And if we do win, as Ray says, I think the confidence boost, especially going into the next couple of games, would be tremendous. It would be a major help for us.
Yes.
I called it in the beginning of the season. I said we're going to win this year, and I'll stick with it still. So hopefully at the end of the season you can have me back on, and I will be.
We can do a sing and a dance. We can look at Mark wearing a Liverpool shirt.
One time.
You need to send me that video. I don't remember making that bet, but anyway.
Oh, conveniently.
Yeah. If United lose, it's expected, really. I think so.
Yeah.
I don't think much changes. Of course, it'll further knock the confidence, and will take even longer, and it'll be harder to get out of that rut, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But luckily, the games come thick and fast, so you can get over it hopefully sooner rather than later, and keep going. If we win,
and you before you carry on, you used to getting over the losses because there's been so many, right? So you'll get over it quickly if you lose. So I'd like to hear what you have to say if you win.
So if we win,
big if.
If we win, I think we'll restore a lot of faith in some of the fans and the club in Ten Hag, because to pull off a result like that with such a weakened team at Anfield, such a weakened team, geez, that's next level. So I think he needs the win to really help him out a lot. And then hopefully you go on a run. But the problem with this team is it's so inconsistent. We could somehow, nick a result against you guys, and then go and get smacked during the week again.
Yeah, we've been way too inconsistent.
Not really, but we're stringing results together. What are you going to say there, Steve?
Who's more got the pressure now? Is it Liverpool or United in this game, based on what you're saying?
I think it's a bit of both. Man United have to show character and step up to this game. You know what I mean? They can't get smashed 7. And the same thing for us. If we're going to try and win the title, this is a must-win game. So I think it's a 50-50 in my opinion.
Okay.
What do you reckon?
No, I definitely do. I think a lot of people are expecting the Liverpool win based just on the injuries, based on form of United. So obviously we're going into this game favourites, hands down.
Without a
it feels
doubt.
flipping good saying that. But
don't count your chickens before they hatch.
I know, that's why I'm just saying I do feel the pressure is slightly more on us for this, based on where we're sitting on the log and based on what we're going for. So, yeah, I think the pressure is mainly more on us. I do feel like I say, if you guys lose, it'll be like, okay, well, we were expecting, we were playing against the best team in the world right there. So
What do you say to that, Mark?
Finish that sentence.
I'm not going to change my sentence. Best team in the world right there.
I don't really have much to say to that. I think we are as mentioned earlier, we are definitely the underdogs, and no United fan is expecting a result. We probably, some of us will probably be slightly, holding on to a little bit of positivity, a little bit of hope and faith that, hey, anything can happen and we can somehow not get smashed tomorrow. But yeah, it's you guys are, I don't say full strength, but you're close enough. And
Yeah.
we know we're near. You guys are in good form. We not. You guys are at home. We haven't beaten you guys there since Rooney was playing for us. Yeah, it's not looking good. So there's records are there to be broken. So I'd love Hoyland to score a hat trick there, but that's we're all got to be hopeful and so on. But it's going to be an uphill battle, and I think it'll be a Liverpool win.
100%.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah, that was awesome, gents. Thanks so much, Steve, once again. Special guest. Thanks for joining us. We'll definitely have you back. Thanks again for your insights and your opinions. We do appreciate it. Ray, it wasn't a pleasure.
It'll be a pleasure the next episode.
Yeah. I'm the one smiling and not you.
It's a flip of the coin.
But yeah, thanks everyone. We appreciate it. If you like what you see, please like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you on the next episode. Come on, United!
Let's go.
Cheers,
Never
boys.
walk alone. Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Ciao.